Hello, everyone. Um, I want to give a few moments to talk about the ministry that we did in Jordan. So, we were approximately in Jordan for about a month, a little less, but Jordan was a very fruitful place. And yeah, like I said, I just want to give a few moments of just telling some stories, some testimony of Jordan, just crazy encounters of the Lord. And yeah, let's just get into it. So while we were in Jordan, we were doing house visits, which is an incredible, um, just blessing from God. For those of you that don't know, you don't really go into houses very often. So when you do, like, you just have an open opportunity to talk about the gospel. That is most missionaries' goals, is to be able to go in and like just openly talk about Jesus, because once you're in someone's home, they're in their private space, in their comfortable space, in an area that they don't mind listening to you, don't mind responding back to you. And yeah, we we had a couple really good families that were really wanting to open up and just hear more about who this Jesus is, who this person that we are following is. And just conversations that I was blessed to have. Two people came to Christ, and now the organization that we were working alongside, a local NGO, is now going to come alongside and disciple them, which is incredible. Just to be able to work alongside of them, they're giving us opportunity to just go in and do what we're gifted in, and then once we leave, we get to hand it over to a more long-term investment. Um, yeah, so outside of house visits, there was opportunity for us to do ATL. For those of you that do not know what that means, it's Ask the Lord, so ATL. So we were just doing street evangelism. There were a couple of us that did store owner evangelism. So we just kind of had the opportunity to get to know these owners and sit down, have long conversations that would oftentimes go into early hours in the morning. Um, I guess it would be appropriate to mention that it was during Ramadan, so the hours were already from sunset to sunrise, opposed to a sunrise to sunset. So yeah, there was a couple owners that were responsive, but I mean, I couldn't really expect them to sacrifice more than they already were, because we would oftentimes go to them during operation business hours. So they were already given up enough time for us to go and speak to them, and sit down and have a one-on-one conversation type thing. It's one guy by the name of Hassan. We went in and did a couple chores for his shop, so I had the opportunity to paint his some of his shelves. And yeah, that really spoke high volumes to him, because once I left a couple days ago, he came to me and like was just really had a lot of gratitude toward that moment that my team and I decided to go in and like just help do different tasks that needed done for his shop. Another shop owner that really won my heart, his name's Salam, which in Arabic means peace. Um, this man is exhibiting so many fruits of the Spirit, yet is not following Christ, does not know who Christ is. We was asking him what his view of God is, and in his description it's going to be Allah, but what he was describing was not Allah. He was describing Yahweh, which is incredible, because the only piece that he's missing is Jesus. And once he holds on to that piece, he's going to see life through a whole different lens, and he's going to be a crazy drive force for the kingdom. Yeah, just excited for the opportunities that were given during that time. Uh, yeah, another area of ministry that I got to witness is um, wasn't necessarily deliverance because we never ended up delivering anyone out of demonic bondage, but there was a lot of spiritual warfare interactions that took place. So I mentioned the man Salam that I really grew to love so much. I have a big heart for. He has an employee, his name's Saad, and he is very much into the New Age and the New Age world. One day he's talking about his drawings and his poetry, and he shows me his drawings, and it's just pictures of demons. And just fast forward a week and a half later, he had invited me into his birthday party, and sadly it was more of a party than a birthday. And I'm just watching demons manifest in this room. Just have absolute legal rights and just going crazy. And eventually Saad comes out of his back room. He's looped up on whatever drug that he just consumed, and he goes into the kitchen. And at that point, I'd been at the party for 2 hours, just trying to make some good conversation, trying to invite the Holy Spirit into the room. And at that point, I'd watched God show up in ways that were really, really cool. There's loud music, and the music shuts off. There's strobe lights, and then the lights aren't working anymore. So everyone was forced to go back into a normal setting at that point. Anyways, back to Saad being in the kitchen. So I was able to go over to him and ask him some questions. At this point, I'd been polite for 2 hours, so I'm just going to get to the point, right? So there was time after time that I had shared the gospel with this guy, and the more that I hung around him, the more demonic that he would get. So every time I'd see him, it's just under a darker influence, and so I had to do something about it, right? I had to at least approach and address whatever's going on inside of him, just the oppression that he's under. So I go to speak to him, and he's out of it, right? There's nothing of him tangibly left. He was just fully under bondage, and so it wasn't his voice speaking anymore. And once I noticed this, I just was very blunt with the questions I asked him. And I asked him, how many are you? With a question like that, any demon's going to respond back with an answer, because they're going to love to boast about how effective they are, right? And so he said 7 or 8. And I made the connection. I said 7 or 8, as in the 7 or 8 drawings that you showed me last week. And they said yes. And I said, how's eternity for you? And they said hell, because you get tired of doing the same thing over and over because it's in pain. And then immediately Saad rushes out of the room, and yeah, that's as far as I got with that conversation, and it's about the last conversation I had with him. It's very sad, so whenever you have time to pray, when you're watching this video, I just encourage you to pray over Saad. Pray that he comes to know the Lord, that God chooses to just place just visions and dreams into his path. Saad's looking for answers, and so just pray that he receives his answers and he receives the truth. So yeah, I think that's all the update I have for Jordan. We're currently in Egypt, and I'm excited to just give an update of how Egypt goes. So thank you for taking time to listen to the experiences that I had. Yeah, take care, and God bless.